the cavalry has arrived. The Republicans were looking a bit beleaguered, and there is a certain group of Republicans who don't exactly support Donald Trump, and they were lending their support to the Democrats. So there's an upcoming election at the end of this year, and although the Republicans were putting a very brave face on it, there was always the chance that they were going to be smashed by the Democrats anyway, or at least given a very hard run for their money. But the Democrats have saved them. They've come up like the cavalry at the end of a Western movie, a traditional Western movie. Trumpets sounding, hooves galloping. I'll tell you all about my horse in another video. I'm sure some of you are on the edge of your seats about that. Okay, but let's get back to this. Yep, the cavalry have come over the hill, flags flying, trumpets blaring, hooves clattering, and the Democrats are going to have a hard time with it. Only a couple of videos back, I was talking about the FBI being used as an agent of the present US government, which is heavily dominated by the Democrats at the moment, against their political opponents. I was talking about corruption. I was saying there's something really seriously wrong with America. But I didn't say America was finished. A few correspondents did say that. And I was going to make a video saying, no, it does have self-correcting mechanisms. And sooner or later, it's going to, those mechanisms are going to kick into action. But I didn't expect it to happen like this. Well, what do you know? The FBI goes and embarrasses itself and the entire United States, I should hope, in the whole international community. This is a big story. And they did that by charging in flat-footed to Donald Trump's secret volcano hideout in Florida, lights flashing, vans revving, operatives in body armour and well armed to confiscate sacks full of documents from his safe. Unfortunately for the FBI, and I should think also for the Democrat Party, this didn't turn out quite the way they were planning, because suddenly all those rhinos... Oh, hang on a minute, I have to explain to those outside the USA, a rhino is a strange, short-sighted, overweight, lumbering survivor from prehistoric times. It has a thick skin and a very small brain. The other rhino is a species of African megafauna. Anyway, all those rhinos in their comfortable offices on Capitol Hill or wherever they have their comfortable offices have suddenly woken up to the possibility that it's not going to end with Donald Trump, and that this crass bit of political bullying will end up biting them in the backside sooner or later as well. Ron DeSantis, who is not a rhino, by the way, called it banana republic tactics. And in fact, in reality, it was exactly what everyone in the Democrat Party was trying to convince everyone else that that's what Trump would do. But you know that old adage, don't you? You know, when you point a finger at somebody, you have you point a finger at somebody, you have three fingers pointing back at yourself. I've almost forgotten how many fingers I got. All right, well, so now let's get over to Mr. Ex-President and soon-to-be next President Trump's reaction. And it was a smackaroo, to my mind, confirming my assessment of Trump and a few other people as well as the best presidential material that the USA has at the moment. Notice I didn't say the best president ever, but head and shoulders above anything in that bunch of drunken amateurs in the Democrat Party. He didn't try to hide it. He's been victim of what seems to me to be a true state corruption, and yet he's not playing the victim. He stood up and shouted it out loud, called out what everyone knows but wasn't saying. Well, in the MSM, at any rate, that is, It was a blindingly obvious attempt to convict him of something, anything. I'm sure they could find one piece of paper, even if it's a Christmas card from Gorbachev, that they could say was state property that he'd taken away. I mean, it's just as obvious as that. In order to stop him from, once he's convicted of doing that, you know, taking away state property or something, that can disqualify him from running again. And it's so blindingly obvious they can never use anything, even if he had I don't know what, all the codes written down for the next atomic super hypersonic bomb or whatever. Anyway, the White House, of course, denied knowing anything at all about it. Oh, what, me governor? Which means only one of two things. Either the White House, and by that, of course, I mean Biden, is lying. Do you think that's possible? Surely not. Well, the other option is the White House, and by that I mean Biden, has lost control of the Justice Department, and everybody in his administration, like Nancy Pelosi, who went to Taiwan, I believe, against his express wishes, and now the Justice Department doing something that he didn't want them to do, maybe, and he didn't even know that they were going to do. They just decided to take off on their own. So it's either Biden lying or Biden not being in control of anything. Either way, it's a huge laugh, I'm sorry to say, on all of the USA. And it's an overreach on the part of the Democrats. You know, it's about as clever as Putin's great idea that he'd snap up a bit of Ukraine over the weekend. I just put that one in, by the way, to annoy the trolls. So, I am Granniopteryx. I'm to be found on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I have now joined Buy Me a Coffee. So if you want to contribute to my channel, you can just buy me a coffee. That'll keep me awake for the next video. And meanwhile, like, share, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, check that subscription, because they do drop out. Like, share, subscribe, contribute to the channel in any way you can, which does include liking, sharing and subscribing, as well as money, of course. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm really rather happy today. See you next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share, share, share.